Many doctors are quietly sharing the same message with their older patients. After the age of 60, how you start your morning can affect your heart more than you realize. It's not about your exercise routine. It's not about your medication. It's about your pace. For many seniors, mornings begin with a sense of urgency, getting out of bed quickly, moving right into chores, thinking about responsibilities, appointments, or worries for the day ahead. This may feel productive, but doctors warn that rushing the morning can quietly strain the cardiovascular system. When you wake up, your body is in a delicate transition. Blood pressure naturally begins to rise in those early hours. Your heart rate increases. This is a normal biological process, but when the body is pushed too fast, this natural rise becomes a sharp spike. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline flood your bloodstream. Your blood vessels tighten. Your heart must work harder to push blood through these narrowed pathways. Over time, this daily pattern raises your cardiovascular risk. Doctors call this the morning stress load. It accumulates silently, month after month. Many seniors with high blood pressure don't feel stressed at all in their minds, yet their bodies are responding to a rushed routine as if it were an emergency. Standing up too quickly is one of the most common triggers for this strain. After lying down for several hours, your blood naturally pools in the lower part of your body. When you stand suddenly, your blood pressure drops briefly. Your heart reacts by pumping much harder to compensate. This rebound effect strains the heart muscle and the delicate lining of your arteries. Slowing down gives your body the time it needs to adjust its internal pressure. It allows your nervous system to transition from a state of rest to a state of activity without triggering a crisis response. Another critical issue in the morning is your breathing. Most people don't realize that rushed mornings lead to shallow chest breathing. When you breathe shallowly, you reduce the amount of oxygen reaching your vital organs. Low oxygen levels signal your heart to work faster to maintain your system. This is why doctors now recommend a few minutes of gentle, deep breathing before you even swing your legs out of bed. Slow, rhythmic breaths help your blood vessels relax. It shifts your nervous system from the fight or flight mode into a state of calm. Hydration is an equally overlooked factor in senior heart health. During the 6 to 8 hours you sleep, your body loses fluids through breathing and skin evaporation. You wake up in a state of mild dehydration. This makes your blood physically thicker. Thicker blood is harder to pump. It increases the resistance against your artery walls. If a senior starts a high-energy routine before hydrating, their blood pressure must rise significantly just to move that thicker blood. A calm pause with a glass of room-temperature water is more than a habit. It is a medical intervention for your circulation. It thins the blood naturally and supports your kidneys in filtering out the metabolic waste from the night before. We must also consider the role of mental stress. Checking the news on your phone or worrying about a list of tasks immediately after waking activates the sympathetic nervous system. Your body cannot distinguish between the emotional stress of a news headline and a physical threat. The result is the same: tightened vessels, increased heart rate, higher pressure. Protecting the very first moments of your day helps regulate your nervous system for the next 16 hours. Caffeine adds another layer of complexity to the morning routine. Many seniors reach for coffee on an empty stomach to wake up. However, caffeine on an empty stomach amplifies those already high stress hormones. In the senior body, these effects last longer because metabolism slows down with age. Doctors often see elevated morning blood pressure readings that are directly linked to early caffeine intake. Delaying your coffee by just 1 hour or pairing it with a light meal can significantly reduce the pressure on your heart. Speaking of meals, skipping breakfast is a common mistake that contributes to morning strain. When your blood sugar is low, your body releases more cortisol to mobilize energy stores. This extra cortisol is what raises your blood pressure. Even a small, simple meal signals safety to your brain. It tells your body that resources are available, which naturally lowers the output of stress hormones. Let's look at the health of your arteries. Healthy arteries are flexible. They expand and contract with every beat. As we age, arteries naturally stiffen to some degree. Rushing in the morning increases this stiffness temporarily. When this happens every single day, that temporary stiffness can become permanent. This is how quiet, daily habits accelerate vascular aging. Doctors often notice that seniors feel perfectly fine even when their numbers are worsening. Blood pressure creeps up slowly over years, and the morning routine is often the missing link that no one talks about. The way you move your body physically in the morning matters more than you might think. Posture plays a surprising role in heart health. Bending forward immediately after waking, perhaps to pick something up or put on shoes too quickly, compresses the chest cavity. This compression briefly spikes your blood pressure. Adopting a slow, upright posture as you move protects your circulation. It allows your lungs to expand fully and your heart to beat without restriction. Light exposure is another powerful tool for a healthy morning. Natural light hitting your eyes helps regulate your circadian rhythm. These internal clocks do more than manage sleep. They support stable blood pressure and heart rate throughout the day. Dark, rushed mornings disrupt this biological balance. Simply opening your curtains or stepping outside for a moment of gentle light can help reset your entire cardiovascular system. There is a deep communication between your brain and your heart that happens every morning. After waking, your brain gradually takes control back from the automatic nighttime systems. This transition is not instantaneous. When you rush, your brain sends mixed signals. The heart rhythm becomes less stable. Doctors often see irregular heart rhythms, like palpitations, occurring more frequently in the early morning hours. A slower start gives your nervous system the time it needs to synchronize. It is about teaching your body that mornings are a safe time, not a time of danger. Many seniors worry that slowing down is a sign of losing their independence. They feel they must keep moving fast to stay young. But doctors argue the exact opposite is true. Independence comes from prevention. Protecting your heart protects your mobility. Protecting your circulation protects your cognitive function. Slowing down is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of deep wisdom and respect for your body's changing needs. Consider the risk of falls. Balance depends on steady blood flow to the inner ear and the brain. When you rush and your blood pressure fluctuates sharply, you may experience brief moments of dizziness. This is when the most dangerous falls happen. Slowing down protects your balance as much as it protects your heart. By giving yourself just 5 or 10 extra minutes each morning, you are making a long-term investment. 5 minutes of quiet breathing, 5 minutes of hydration, 5 minutes of gentle, mindful movement. These moments compound over the years into a much healthier cardiovascular system. As we age gracefully, we must learn to work with our bodies instead of fighting against them. Many seniors report feeling steadier, calmer, and more energetic once they adjust their morning pace. Their blood pressure readings improve, and their anxiety decreases. These are the physical rewards of a gentle start. If you have struggled with morning fatigue or dizziness, this small change may be the missing piece of your health puzzle. Your body is asking for a gentler transition. Listening now can prevent significant health crises in the future. To truly understand why your body reacts this way, we have to look at the chemistry of the dawn. There is a phenomenon known as the cortisol awakening response. Within 30 minutes of waking, your body naturally floods itself with cortisol. This is designed by nature to give you the energy to start your day. But for a senior with stiffening arteries, this natural surge is like a sudden high-pressure jet of water through an old pipe. When you rush, you add a second layer of adrenaline on top of this cortisol. Adrenaline is a survival hormone. It tells your heart to beat faster and your blood to clot more easily. In our ancestors, this was helpful to escape a predator. But for a senior today, simply rushing to the kitchen or worrying about an email can trigger this ancient survival mechanism. Your heart doesn't know you're just looking for your glasses. It thinks you are in danger. This causes your blood platelets to become sticky. Sticky blood is much more likely to form a clot in a narrowed artery. This is why medical statistics show a significantly higher rate of strokes and heart attacks between the hours of 6 a.m. and noon. It's not just a coincidence of timing. It's a biological storm of high pressure, sticky blood, and narrowed vessels. By slowing down, you are essentially telling your endocrine system to stand down. You are signaling to your brain that the lion is not at the door. You allow that cortisol to be used for energy rather than for a stress response. This is the difference between biological aging and biological resilience. Many of the patients we see at the clinic have never heard of the vagus nerve. Yet, it is perhaps the most important nerve in your body for heart health. Think of the vagus nerve as a brake pedal for your heart. It runs from your brain, through your neck, and down into your chest and abdomen. When you rush in the morning, you are essentially taking your foot off the brake and slamming on the gas. This leaves your heart unprotected from sudden spikes in activity. However, when you engage in a slow morning routine, you are strengthening your vagal tone. High vagal tone means your heart can recover quickly from stress. Low vagal tone means your heart stays at a high, stressed rate for hours after a single rush. One of the best ways to stimulate this nerve is through something as simple as the temperature of the water you drink, or even splashing cool water on your face. The cold sensation triggers a diving reflex, which immediately signals the vagus nerve to slow the heart rate down. Even humming a soft tune while you prepare your breakfast can vibrate the vagus nerve in your throat, sending a message of safety to your cardiovascular system. These are the hidden biohacks that doctors use to help patients manage blood pressure without always relying on a higher dose of medication. There is a deep misunderstanding about how blood pressure medication works in the morning. Many seniors take their pill and then immediately start their busy day, thinking the medicine will act as a shield. But what you might not know is that stress actually changes your gastric emptying time. When you are rushed, your body diverts blood away from your stomach and toward your muscles. This means your medication may sit in your stomach longer, being broken down by acid before it can even reach your small intestine to be absorbed. This can lead to inconsistent levels of the drug in your bloodstream. By having a calm morning, you ensure that your digestive system has the blood flow it needs to process your medication efficiently. We also need to talk about the liver. Your liver is most active in the early hours, processing the metabolic waste from the night. If you flood your system with caffeine and stress hormones immediately, you are giving your liver a double workload. A slow morning with a focus on hydration allows the liver to clear out those toxins first. This creates a cleaner environment for your heart medication to work. When your internal environment is calm, your body can respond to therapy much more predictably. This is why some patients find their blood pressure is better controlled not by changing the drug, but by changing the environment in which they take it. Psychologists have identified a trait called time urgency. It is the feeling that there is never enough time and that every second must be filled with productivity. In our younger years, this might have helped us build careers or raise families. But in our 60s and beyond, time urgency becomes a physiological burden. The heart of a senior is like a high-performance vintage car. It can still go the distance, but it cannot be redlined every morning. When you feel that internal push to get things done quickly, your brain is actually triggering a micro-inflammatory response. Chronic inflammation is the root cause of plaque buildup in the arteries. Every time you rush to answer the door or scramble to find your keys, you are causing tiny amounts of inflammation in your vascular walls. Over years, this contributes to the hardening of the arteries we discussed earlier. The secret to a long life, as seen in many blue zones around the world, is the ability to downshift. These long-lived populations have morning rituals that are intentionally slow. They may spend an hour over a simple breakfast or sit quietly in the sun. They aren't being lazy. They are practicing life extension. They are keeping their inflammation levels low and their heart rate variability high. So how do you fix this? How do you rebuild a heart-healthy morning routine? It starts with the 5-minute rule. If you usually wake up at 7, set your alarm for 6:45. Not to do more, but to do nothing. Use those first 15 minutes to simply exist. Feel the weight of your body on the mattress. Gently rotate your ankles to stimulate blood circulation without putting pressure on your heart. When sitting up, do it step by step. Sit on the edge of the bed for 60 seconds. This allows pressure receptors, pressure sensors in your neck, to tell your brain that you are changing position. Once you're up, go straight to your glass of water. Ignore the news. Ignore your phone. Your brain is at its most vulnerable during the first hour of the day. If you give it chaos, it will create a chaotic heartbeat. If you provide it with stillness, it will create a steady heartbeat. Consistency is your greatest ally. Your heart loves a rhythm. When you perform the same gentle movements every morning, your body begins to get used to calmness. Its baseline blood pressure will drop because it knows that no emergency is coming. This is the ultimate goal. Train your heart to always be at peace. Thank you for being a part of the Wellness Roots Journey community. If you found this information helpful, please leave a comment sharing your own morning routine. Your support helps us continue to provide this educational content. Take care of your heart and give yourself the gift of a peaceful morning tomorrow. This video is for educational purposes only. Always consult your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health habits, especially those related to cardiovascular health and blood pressure.